Welcome, Elizabeth House family. My name is Sean Van Stratum. I'm the Assistant General Manager and Certified Sommelier at Oakmont Country Club in Glendale. I'm very honored to be here representing the Elizabeth House in Pasadena. In celebration of their 2021 hybrid gala and virtual auction, I've created 2 signature cocktails, which you can create at home on the September 25th at 6 p.m. Whether you're hosting a party with others and friends and family, or you're doing it alone, this is a great set of cocktails that you can make and enjoy. Our first drink that we'll be making is called the Fizzy Lizzy, obviously inspired by the Elizabeth House, serving the community for over 27 years. Since 1994, they've been serving over 350 families through the shelter program and provide lifelong alumni services to over 300 women and children each year. All right, so now for the Fizzy Lizzy. So with this cocktail, it's going to be a ginger-based cocktail. So lots of ginger in this cocktail. If you're not a fan of ginger, then sorry, not much you can do. But it's vodka-based, but this is really meant for an aperitif. So you're not gonna, the base of the cocktail isn't gonna be vodka, but that's the only true spirit. What we're actually using is something called Cocchi Americano. It's an Italian liqueur, very similar to like a white vermouth. So if you can't find this, typically at Bevmo or Total Wine, you'll be able to find these products, everything that I'm using here. But in this case, if you couldn't find this, you could just use a simple white vermouth. Now it does have a touch of sweetness to it, kind of aromatized wine, if you will. So I do prefer to use this one, it gives it lots of flavor. The second ingredient that I'm using Absolute Elix. It's a really nice vodka. Handcrafted, but you can pretty much use any vodka that you'd prefer in your wheelhouse. So you have the recipes in front of you and you can follow along. Like I said, I'll make some adjustments along the way if you don't want to use some of these ingredients, but you can always, in either of these cocktails, you can sub out the vodka for gin and vice versa, and it still works pretty well. I'm going to use a couple different equipment here. So this is a Boston shaker. 2-part shaker with ice inside. If you have something that looks similar like to this, is like an old-fashioned shaker with the lid, you can also use that. So up to you. But I like the Boston shaker for a simple reason of you can fill your ice in here, your liquid in here, and it doesn't dilute while you're mixing. So we'll fill up the first one with ice and get started. The first thing that you're gonna do before you put anything into the container is you're gonna take 2 pieces of fresh ginger and you're gonna muddle that. This is going to have multiple components of ginger with syrup and all of those things that I'll get to in a minute. But first you want to just muddle that and break it down a bit. Okay. You're going to be shaking this as well, so you don't need to put any kind of syrup or anything to start it. Just dry muddle just to break down some of that ginger. So into here, we'll follow the recipe. We're going to do 1 ounce of the vodka. And this is where it switches up. You're gonna do 2 ounces of the Cocchi Americano. Okay. Wow, that's the slowest pour I've ever seen in my life. There we go. All right, 2 ounces. One thing I made, just kind of homemade here, is a ginger syrup. Very simple to do. Essentially, in a blender, you're gonna put equal parts sugar and water, and then just a big piece of ginger, about that size, for kind of a quantity this big. You really want it to be peppery, very spicy ginger flavor. So you blend it as kind of for maybe 35-40 seconds until it's totally kind of a liquid. Then you're gonna pour that into a container, make sure all the sugar comes with it, pop it in the microwave for about a minute. And it all comes together and makes this beautiful ginger syrup. So we're gonna go 1 ounce of ginger syrup. And then anytime you're using a sweetener, you really want to keep it in balance in a cocktail. So what I do is I will put the about 3/4 lemon juice, because you don't want it to be too sweet. So 3/4 lemon juice go in there. Once you have all the contents and the muddled ginger, you're gonna top it off and give it a good hard shake. You want to keep shaking until the tins start to frost and it gets almost too hard to hold it because it's too cold. Okay, once we have that, then we're gonna fill our glass. I usually try to use a Collins glass or a water glass, a beer mug, something that has some height to it. But like I said, with cocktail making, you can really kind of improvise and use some of these substitutions if you don't have exactly what I have. So let's fill this with clean ice and we're gonna strain over the top. Okay, nice clean ice there, and we're gonna strain our contents over the top, like this. Leaving a little room for the top because we're gonna top it, once again, with ginger, and that's gonna be Fever Tree Ginger Beer. So topping that off, a couple different garnish ideas you can do. One thing I do is, this is called crystallized ginger. You can place that kind of onto the side there. Gives it a little ginger bite, kind of a ginger candy that you can use. Also, you'll see on your recipes that you can do a nasturtium flower. It's a really nice, pretty orange flower. That's optional. I didn't want to overwhelm you with this, but this is just a very simple, very fun summer cocktail called Fizzy Lizzy. Enjoy. Now into our second cocktail. This is called the Rockabye Baby 480. Why? Because 480 babies were born at the Elizabeth House. So that's what we want to celebrate in this cocktail. It's going to be a light, refreshing cocktail, very similar to the first. So it has cucumber and mint and a bit of gin. So let's go through the ingredients and show you through this cocktail. So Rockabye Baby 480 is a gin-based cocktail. What we'll be using is Dingle gin, coming from Ireland. It's a very floral gin. It doesn't have a ton of juniper, so this is a kind of more gin-based for a zesty, fun cocktail that we'll be doing. Again, like I mentioned, if you want to sub this out for vodka instead, feel free if you're not a gin fan. But try it first, see how you like it. We'll be doing the same containers, our Boston shaker. So the first one gets ice. So let's put that into there. And then we'll build the cocktail in here. So this is a muddled cocktail as well. We'll be using cucumber and mint with a bit of simple syrup at the base of the cocktail, just to let all of those ingredients build together. So first, let's take 2 pieces of cucumber that goes into your container with just a couple sprigs of mint here. And we'll provide our 1 ounce of simple syrup. Essentially, simple syrup is equal parts sugar and water melted together. I prefer to just do it in the microwave, or you can simply take sugar and put boiling water on top of it, stir it, and you have simple syrup. So it just gives the sweetness and allows it to meld into a cold cocktail. So right here, we're gonna muddle these together. When you're muddling, you're not trying to blend or kind of pulverize everything. What you really want to do is just press it down until everything breaks apart. Especially with mint, I think when you're making mojitos or things like that, people over muddle, and if you bruise the mint too much, it becomes black and kind of bitter. So just that much, that's all you need to do. 3/4 we're going to use of lime juice. Give it a little of that citrus component. And then we're going to top it off with our 2 ounces of Dingle gin. And that's pretty much it. Very simple cocktail. We'll take this, we'll give it a nice good shake. And same like we did last time, it should be nice and icy cold to the touch on these tins. And right into a martini glass. I try to use something with the stem, so if you don't have a martini glass or a coupe glass like I have here, you can definitely use a wine glass of any type. Strain that in. Have a nice clean look to it here. You'll have a couple pieces of mint floating around. If you don't want that in there, you can always use a little strainer, a small strainer, but in this case, keep it a little rustic. You're gonna choose a nice big piece of mint here. You're gonna place in the middle of your palm and slap it. It releases some of the oils, and you can definitely smell the mint placing it there. And this is our Rockabye Baby 480. Enjoy. And now a word from Executive Director and founder of Elizabeth House, Debbie Unruh. Come on in here, Debbie.
Sean, hey, this is great. Thank you so much. We are so excited about our gala this year, and we want you to be there. So I'd love for you to register. You can go to the site below, the website, and if you'd like to sponsor, we still need sponsors, and if you'd like to donate, we would love for you to donate to this event. And cheers to everyone who's going to be attending, or if you're going to be doing a watch party. It's very exciting, and we're just so grateful for all of you, our Elizabeth House family. Cheers, Sean.
How's that? Oh wow.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.